I think so.
There you go.
All right. I think we're live. Hello and welcome to Tech Talk with T&E. Hold on here. I'm checking. Can everybody see me? I mean, it says I have internet issues.
I can see you and I can hear you.
Okay. Bear with me real quick. I want to make sure it's showing up on YouTube.
Oh my goodness. Can I get tech support in here?
It's not. Oh, there we go. Okay, yes, it is. So, all right. Sorry for the tech support. I had a little message coming up saying, check your internet connection. And we just talked about how much challenges we've had with our internet. Anyways, welcome. Happy Monday. Thank you for coming and thank you for joining us. Please like, share all the stuff you're supposed to do for these type of events. Elisabeth, how are you? Good morning.
I am well, thank you. It's a busy Monday, but I'm happy to be here. And I love Monique and Kayla so much. And I'm so excited to have you guys on our podcast. So thank you.
Feelings mutual.
Thanks for having us, guys.
For you guys.
We don't see each other enough. We see each other here and there at conferences, but I don't feel like it's enough. So.
No. Well, we haven't visited up there in a while, so we need to do that.
So you need another trip up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had a trip. You just had Tracy and Michael, and then April and Paul came over. I saw that on Facebook. So totally jealous. I hope you guys had a great time.
Yep, we had a great time. Sharing a few secrets here and there, and just having a good time.
I want all the secrets. You can't leave me out.
Well, it's been officially as of the 1st of August. Well, actually, I think you guys came back because this will be our 15th year.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
We're here for our 10 year, right? So, yeah.
Just shortly after, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So, Elisabeth, why don't you introduce our guests before we get rambling?
Our guests. Well, and I just naturally assume that everybody knows. Effective Web Solutions is in the Pacific Northwest. Monique Rice is one of the founding owners of the company. Kayla is her daughter, and are you operations manager over everything, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so definitely Monique's right-hand woman that makes all the things happen, and Monique is very capable in her own right, but I know Kayla makes her look good.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Couldn't do it without her.
Right. So, it's great to connect with you guys because as a business owner and as someone who has family members working with them, for them, under them, with them, you can connect with a lot of the challenges and struggles that I may have. I know I've reached out to you. Hey, what about this? What do you think? And you have a really great perspective as far as you're living it as well. And I know my kids will tell you it's not always easy working for mom and dad. They know when we have family get-togethers that, okay, yeah, we're going to talk work. We're going to talk family. It's all super integrated. Are you guys the same way, or do you have a hard stop?
Well, I mean, I've really been trying to focus as much as possible of not having, when we're together personally, to not have, those work conversations, but it always seems to weave its way in just a little bit.
Yeah. I don't think our work brains will ever really shut off. So might mean that Thanksgivings come with a side of a reminder or just some exciting results that we're seeing, things like that. I think we try to stay pretty away from the nitty gritty type stuff, keep it pretty light. Mm-hmm. I know my sister's constantly telling us to just leave the work at work. And she just doesn't understand anything that we ever talk about. So I think we're pretty good about that, though.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I've started where, obviously we do Skype. We're jumping into Slack a little bit, but I have to separate my work questions in Skype and my personal questions in text message and try not to commingle the two, because that's always been, something for the kids. I'm trying to respect their time. If it's the weekend, it's only personal messages. oh my gosh, that's like a job in itself.
Mm-hmm. You can
Well,
be.
it's interesting too, because we've taken a trip with our oldest son, Eric, and his
Beyonce.
I call it his wife. It should be his wife, and our 2 grandbabies, and they don't work with us, and it's really odd being with somebody in the family and not talking business because everybody else in the family works with us. So it definitely brings a kind of and I try to talk to Eric about work just to have somebody to talk to, and he doesn't know what the frick I'm talking about.
Right.
So,
Right.
but that's one of the cool things about, like we do family dinners every Sunday night. Yeah, I don't know if we talked about work last night actually, but definitely if something's hot on the trail, we definitely want to, keep it going. And
yeah, I mean, if there's something that's definitely a hot topic or something that's just like, man, we got to hit the ground running tomorrow morning. This is, whatever. Then yeah, we'll have a quick 5-10 minute conversation, but I try to be really careful about it. Kayla's, always working. I mean, both of our brains are constantly going. So, I mean, it's hard to turn it off, but we really try.
exactly.
Do you have any other suggestions or strategies on working with a family member? I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be like your daughter, but I mean, you and Wes have worked together for years. What other strategies do you have for being successful and good communication?
I think, Wes and I have worked together for almost my whole adult life. I mean, for 28 years now. So, I think that understanding each other's strengths and weaknesses is really valuable because, if that's like, okay, I mean, Kayla is completely opposite than me in a lot of ways. She's more of a systems and processes, type of person and, more into the details and everything. Whereas I'm more high level and visionary. I'll call myself more the research and development end of it. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, let's take imperfect action. It's not going to be perfect. We're going to figure it out, but we got to get going, and she hates me for it sometimes. She's like, hold on. With Wes, he's more of a numbers guy, and that's not my strength so much, when it comes to like P&L stuff. So we all have kind of he's still involved in the company, and we all kind of have, our own area of, I'm going to say, expertise. I can kind of see both sides of sales and operations, so it helps me, with that as well. So.
Well, how did you guys get started in this wonderful industry in the first place?
Well, Wes and I were in Yellow Pages for many, many years. I was in it for 15. He was in it for 30. Both at executive level. So he was an executive vice president across the United States. I was a district manager, over 14 managers and 100 sales reps. But the writing was on the wall that the internet was here, that Yellow Page companies were trying to do state-of-the-art directories and all this other BS. And, I was like, you guys aren't going to compete against Google. I mean, at the end of the day, they're already there. And who's going to go to a directory and look for, somebody, when you could just Google it? It just doesn't make any sense. And so, we set out on an adventure to, try to figure it out. And, when we knew that, the internet, was really, and this was 2009, 2009. And the company that Wes and I both left bought the company that we went to. And when we had taken 100 sales reps with us, we knew the writing was on the wall for us too. Because we took all their sales reps, all the best sales reps. So the writing was on the wall, and we had to figure out, what to do, in regards to the internet and to be able to service clients and not just sell them some pie in the sky thing that wasn't working anymore. Yellow Pages wasn't working. It was going downhill, and it went downhill really fast. Mm-hmm. So we found a partner that was actually supposed to do all the tech side. And that lasted about 60 days, and that relationship dissolved because he soon couldn't, deliver. And, we were like, okay, well, we don't plan on doing the sales, but here we go. We're gonna have to figure it out because we've already left our jobs, and we're gonna just have to figure it out. But it was easy back then. It was like, hey, I don't care. You're a chiropractor and you want to just see if I can prove a point and rank you for sandwich shop and Portland, Oregon, and you're located in Vancouver and you're a chiropractor. I'm just going to do it for fun, and I'll show you. I'll have you there in a few days, and it was super easy. It's not today's world.
Yeah, 100%. Did you guys ever think about doing a different industry, or was it always around the internet?
No, because we'd always been in marketing, so it really wasn't really an option. It was just we were going to figure out how to be able to do digital marketing and not sell some. Oh, the Yellow Pages were trying to sell some. Hey, for $350 a month, we're going to put a video on our internet directory.
Mm-hmm.
It was just dumb stuff.
Yeah. And that's what's so intriguing about you guys is you guys started from the sales side and then brought in the operations or the fulfillment, and 99.9% of us do the tech and fulfillment, learn how to do it, and then fight tooth and nail to try to sell it. And that's even us. I mean, we're in our 12th year, 12 years, something like that, 13th year, and we still struggle with sales.
Mm-hmm.
We have no problems on the fulfillment side. We have no problems on the technical side, but we are constantly having meetings talking about filling our pipeline, and that's sales. And
right.
And it's intriguing to see, you guys, and it's old school sales. You got people on the ground doing sales in America. They're not cold calling from, a list. And I mean, it's traditional old school sales, and that's what's so awesome about it, and
we do a lot of
congratulations. So, but I met your sales guy here. He needs to stay out of my neighborhood, but I met your sales guy here. But
you guys are handling the same type of clients, so
yeah. But I did. That's what I've always loved about what you guys do. And when Elisabeth and I visited you guys and saw your processes and how you do everything, it's you guys just nail it. It's it's a very, very impressive company. You don't have any VAs outside here, do you, at all?
Outside of
America or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So we have 9 appointment setting VAs that they're reaching out and actually setting up Zoom calls for us.
Okay.
So it's kind of a little bit of our secret sauce in the past few years. We started that prior to COVID, just like 2 months prior to COVID. And then we do have some back end, VAs that do some, I'm going to say, like citations and stuff like that.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. So, I mean, we still have, our 26, stateside employees that are doing the, client facing work and all that type of stuff.
That's awesome. So that's really
cool.
So
I think, if we actually added them all up total, I think we're at 43 if we include everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Would you start it the same way again if you had to go back, or would you kind of?
That's a good question. I mean, I know that a lot of companies say niche down, and I've always kind of questioned that because we've been more general, but it also enables us to be able to see different things that are going on in different industries and things that might be rolling out in one. It's like, I don't see that in another one and yet, but this might be coming. And so, but I did start to question whether we should niche down right before COVID. There's definitely some, those like, Josh Nelson that, talk about niching down and everything. And he's built an extremely successful agency. But then when COVID happened and, I know that a lot of us got hit in certain industries, but we didn't get hit so hard because we were diversified.
Yeah, I got my ass kicked on the medical spa side.
Yeah, I know.
And I think, I mean, we talk about niching down all the time, and it's interesting too, because I like medical spas. Obviously I like, home service businesses, but on the white label side, we look at everything. And as for, I think it's kind of a little bit, a little bit more diverse, but I kind of, COVID kind of changed the way I think a lot of us, even now that it's over, it's still out there. It's still like, oh shit, that was something I learned from. I don't want to ever forget what I learned. I don't want to get complacent thinking that it's all going to be, just wake up every morning and it's going to be like yesterday type of thing. But I do think that, the nice thing about a family business and everything is you can kind of strategize and work through things compared to having like a partner or having even like a manager or an executive that you hired that you can't really have, at least in my mind, the intimate discussions about, what do we do now? Oh shit, we're in trouble. How do we pivot? Where do we pivot to? All that type of stuff. And I know you guys talk a lot about that stuff, and as we do. And where do you think AI is going as far as, well, first of all, what is EWS doing with AI right now? Are you doing anything on that side, Kayla?
Oh yeah, we've got a lot of tricks up our sleeve and just some things that we're working on currently. I know Monique is working on a lot of AI chat responders and things along those lines, and probably is best to talk to you about that sort of thing. But I just wanted to also piggyback on your last comment there. Honestly, I think that working with your family is one of the biggest benefits that a small business could have, just because it really helps us provide the best service that we possibly can to our clients, but also we have so much heart and soul into what we do every single day that we really do care about where our clients are and what their goals are going to be, and continuing that success with them. And I think that that's really just a huge benefit that you don't see with your cookie cutter agencies. I know I hear that a lot from our clients, is just that they feel that our team cares. And I know that I personally, from the production side of things, just having to express, when a client cancels or trying to figure out why they canceled or why they left or whatever reason, I know that our team is always just curious if it was something that they did wrong, something that we can change to, better our relationship with our clients and things along those lines. And it's just really enlightening to see. I think that it's something that is not the norm, especially in corporate America. So I just wanted to kind of touch on that because I think that it is really special.
Yeah,
I appreciate you saying that, because like I feel like having my kids working with me, I don't know that I can ask that much dedication from somebody that's not outside the family.
100%.
Like, I know that they have the best interest of our company, our clients, and everything. And, you hear the stories of other people, employees sabotaging things and stuff like that. And I know that the level of trust I have for my kids is right up there. Like, I know my kids have my back and I have theirs. So
yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
it's just passion. I mean, Kayla's, got so much passion for, being able to help. And, she jumps on calls with reps to be able to go through all of the numbers and things like that with a client. I think she's probably sold as much as some of the others. But, that passion is just, and dedication is just second to none. And we also have 2 kids that actually have their own businesses that we help too. So I mean, they're not involved in the company, but we are. They have 2 separate businesses. One's a junk hauling, and one's actually a beauty salon. So,
yeah,
talk about diversity.
I think it's. I mean, I just love the fact that we can, especially the bouncing stuff off each other. Like I said, I when we lost our real estate company, I have and still do massive trust issues. Who can I trust? Who's going to steal from me? Who's going to, whatever. And I don't have that with the kids, only because, like Elisabeth said, that, they are dedicated to, the whole success, and we have conversations about, hey, and when I retire and get out of here, we're leaving the company over to you. And right now, none of the kids want that. But
sounds like a whole lot of work.
Yeah, well, and the kids are like, Dad, just cash out and give us our share. We're out of here. So yeah, I understand with that too. So, but I do like the fact that, especially my kids on my side too. I think I've shoved my kids around in different departments and different divisions at different times, depending on where I need them. Right now because I talked a little bit about before we got on the line, but we've had some unexpected turnover on the employee side, that we're now in a hiring phase right now that was unexpected. So the kids are stepping up their game. They're moving over to a different division or different area that they're not really used to, and digging in, and it feels good to have that for sure.
But we've always done that because like when the company was just me and you, there wasn't any definitive line or definition of this is your job, this is my job. It's like, okay, well, what needs to be done? How can I help? What do I need to learn, kind of thing? And so like for us, that's a given, we do kind of overstep a little bit on the SEO side where, maybe sometimes you don't want us to, but I'm like, yeah, but it needs to be done. So tell us and we'll do it. And, you can't always ask or expect that from, just general employees because, you get that kickback. Well, that's not my job.
Yeah.
That's not my favorite thing to hear, but okay.
I bet you've learned a lot of strengths though with your kids and kind of shifting them around in the departments. I think that's the biggest way that I grew within our company was learning each individual department.
Because I made her.
Yeah, really though. I mean, I grew up in the MySpace era, so I was always doing the fun, pages and seeing what I could do to kind of express my personality, and then helping my sister and her friends and our friends and whatever else. And I think that honestly, when we first started, I didn't really understand what my parents were doing, the end goal, the vision. I'm sure that was the same thing for your kids.
Yeah.
Kind of dabbling in each individual department, I think really helped me just learn overall what was important and how each individual department kind of combined with each other, and how you can and I know that we kind of touched on this earlier, but I am very much a data and numbers person. And it's always been kind of my passion to just learn how to make things be better and perform better. And just the processes, the bottom line, all of it was really intriguing to me. And I think that is what kind of drives me to make an impact wherever I can. Especially because this is such a ever evolving landscape. It's really exciting to learn more and more every single day. And I don't think that, working in a general sort of company, I probably wouldn't have had that passion behind me. But I think I kind of came into it with the perspective of wanting to help better my parents' company and see what I could do. And it's been a wild ride, but it's so worth it. And I think that it can only get better from here,
Yeah,
for sure.
Now,
if Monique came to you one day and said, okay, Kayla, pick whatever you want to do in our agency and that's what you're going to do, what would it be? Would you still be in the management, or do you like creativity stuff? Do you like?
I would probably stay exactly where I am. I love where I am. I love being able to, I think the side of hearing from the business owners and also being, family and wanting to do better, but also hearing from our clients in many meetings that I'm in, hearing from our employees and our constant reviews, and just the relationship that I've built with each individual person. I think that it kind of helps build that better picture and that big picture overall. Just because I can see from every single side of things and can kind of put my thinking cap on what it is that we can kind of find a happy medium in all of the ways. So I would stay exactly where I am. I love being a manager, and I love our team. Our team is the best that we've ever had. And I'm just really blessed that I'm able to do so. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Are you involved in the hiring process, or do you have a hiring manager?
No, I do all of that. All the hiring, all the firing. It's very fun. That's why when I heard you did 4 of them in one day, or you have 4 positions and you're doing all of the interviewing right now, I'm like, that is not fun. It is a lot of work just for one position. But
I mean, Kayla's gotten overwhelmed, it can be a lot to do. And so sometimes I do like the initial interviewing, like all the screening and everything else. And then I hand it over to her because they really are, her team, and she's got to see that they fit within the team, and she's going to have, more of the deep dive, questions. So she'll do a second interview.
Nice.
So
Is it getting harder to hire local people? It seems, at least
you
here.
know, we have been very blessed to have stability in our team. So
Mhm.
I'm thinking
That's
we
awesome.
haven't had anybody new, what, 2 years?
Yeah.
That's cool.
You know, I mean, we haven't really needed to have, you know, I mean, because we've just got a stable team. I mean, outside of, like I said, you know, a few new VAs that are doing back end stuff that's, you know, citations and stuff like that. But, you know, from our state side, you know, we have people that have been with us, you know, going on 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, our IT guy that handles all of our website launches and, you know, all of that type of stuff, he's been with us 13.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just like Kayla. So
Yeah. So, I mean, out of our 25 employees that are US based, we've got, I mean, all of them are in the Pacific Northwest area. It hasn't been too hard. I think that during COVID, it was definitely a little bit harder. But I also had a lot of people that wanted to be in the office and wanted to have that face to face. And we do still have a smaller office, but people that at least are coming there, and we do try to have quarterly in-person meetings, not necessarily for work type stuff, but to have a luncheon. And usually we'll have a taco truck or a food truck of some sort come and just kind of interact with each other. But it's been really nice, and we have been really, really blessed to have people that are local and want to remain local.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I was impressed with your team when we came up there and met everybody, and you know, especially had you had them all segregated and they couldn't talk to each other. No, I'm just kidding.
because we had a room for the developers
room and content room.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
you had the web guys over in the back corner and the tech guys over here, and then you had your SEO people. So.
Yeah, today they're all remote for the most part. There's only a few people that work actually in the office. So, and we did have one that moved back east, Midwest area, and one that moved to Hawaii. So, they're also on our team still. So
that's cool.
That's so awesome, because then they can still stay working for you. You don't have that turnover. You already know they're a dedicated employee, and then they have that flexibility. So I just think it's a testament that, like, you have so many US based employees. That's awesome. Because the logistics of that, in addition to, you know, like everybody working together, you already know with a US base, it's a higher salary than a lot of the VAs out there. And then, you know, getting personalities to mesh. I know I met several of your girls when we were in Florida, and everybody just had such a great time. You guys like have friendships as well as working relationships. And so it's definitely a testament to the management there and your company culture as to what you guys have created.
Yeah. I would put that on Kayla. She's developed a wonderful team. So
that's awesome. Now, I don't know if this is a proper question. Now, do you guys have like a retirement package system? What happens when somebody been there a long time? Do you have, I don't know what your, you know, different type of benefits.
Exit
strategies for employees.
Oh, as far as employees, we did roll out a retirement program. It's not a 401k. It's something along that line. So for our employees, and we do have a company match, you know, program and things like that. So
awesome. Yeah, because that's really important, especially as as people have been with you for a long time. You have to think about the benefits side of things, you know, especially, you know, with our family, it's the health insurance, like everybody, you know, and all that stuff that we, you know, kind of mom and dad feel obligated to make sure our kids have. They just happen to work for us, so it's a little bit easier. But yeah, I think it's important as far as company growth as to, we all came from, or at least I came from corporate America, like Monique did and Elisabeth did, and so some things. Yeah, exactly. And some things big corporations do, I think smaller to mid-sized businesses also need to do to take care of their people and their employees. And
yeah, I mean, but it's a challenge, you know. I mean, you want to do it all, you can't do it all, you know, as a smaller business, you know. I mean, even though kind of struggle to say that we're really a small business anymore, as far as the size of our agency, but, it's still, it's still difficult. We provide, so many holidays and, vacation time, and those that have been with us a long time, some of them are up to a month of vacation a year, plus our holidays, plus, all the things. And it gets difficult, like during the summer, it's like, oh my gosh, so many people are out, So, but we need to provide as much as we possibly can. We do the healthcare, we do the, holidays and the retirement package and all of that type of stuff. And, I think every year we kind of do a little bit more. We try to do a little bit more.
I think I need an application from Kayla. You said you're hiring right now, right?
I'll take you anytime.
Aw.
Sorry, Terry.
Here we go. All right. What's the old saying? Don't piss off the hand that feeds you, or whatever.
Don't bite the hand. Got that one wrong.
If you guys, by the way, if you have any questions for anybody, Kayla, Monique, us, whatever, put them in. No problem. So we like to answer questions.
Yeah. Do you guys have questions for us?
Yeah. So, I mean, do you guys do holidays and all of that type of stuff for, everybody? And is it only your family that actually is working for you, or do you have other people?
So, okay, I'll probably answer that because Terry doesn't know much of the HR stuff. Yes, I do observe the 12 national holidays. We do have VAs outside of the country. We've had multiple different places that we've done hiring from in the past. We have hired people from India. We've hired people from South Africa. We have hired people from Serbia. We've hired from the Philippines. And so with all of that comes different challenges. We've had some one-off people from different places. Most recently, I'm looking to get into, obviously, strengthen more social media. I do have some internal SEO people. The great thing about that, like, I kind of have to brag about Terry because I don't really have to train them. I just put them through his course, and then they obviously do things the way we want to do things. So there's that. I do take care of like the kids as far as like, insurance and dental and, everything that I can for that, because obviously it's my kids, We have a girl here local that is Terry's schema girl that she's been with us for several years, and she's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Amber is in, where is she at? Michigan, and Michigan or Wisconsin. She's going to hate me that I didn't get this right if she hears me, but we're looking at integrating her a lot more. She's been doing just some things here and there, but we want to bring her on full time. So hopefully after she heals from her surgery that will be possible. So that's where we are. We're a mix. We're definitely a mixed bag of nuts, I would say. But again, as we're scaling, we're looking to grow, and, I'm open. It's just dedication and loyalty, people that are willing to evolve and change and grow, because not everybody is adaptable to change. And in our industry, as well as our company, there's so much going on. There's so much that's changing, like even every day with AI. Like I can't sit down and say, well, this is our workflow and this is our step-by-step process, because the industry changes.
Right. Exactly. You have to be adaptable. You can't just go, well, this is the way it is, because it's like, well, that was the way it was yesterday.
Yeah.
100%. Especially on the, on the SEO side, the development side, that's actually a side that we're kind of playing with right now. Do we want to hire more developers and build that side up, or do we want to find a good third-party web design agency and just manage that process?
Mm-hmm.
So we're kind of at that stage too. I tell people all the time, we'll always be a web design agency. We do marketing as a side. only because I think that web design is one of those things that's always going to be needed, at least, relatively now. But the marketing side, I mean, Elisabeth's done many websites that they just don't need marketing, or they're not interested in that, or they want to go, do something different as far as their marketing goes. But so I think
I don't understand that, because you can have the most beautiful website in the world, but if nobody finds you on Google, what value is it? But you have to have those hard conversations with people. Is like, okay, yeah, what's your budget and what are your goals and why are they not in alignment?
Yeah, we've kind of changed the way we talk to people too. We're more of, I don't ever consider myself an SEO guy. I call myself a brand builder, just because I think that it's all inclusive. You have to do a whole bunch of stuff. Ranking is just part of that process. But I think the biggest thing is that we've kind of just stepped it out there, which we never did before. For years, we never really mentioned that we were a family business. Here's Elisabeth. Oh, it's Terry's turn. Or here's Terry. Oh, hey, here's Elisabeth. And now we're starting to bring that right out from the forefront. We're a family business. We're involved with everything. We're not just going to turn you over to strangers that don't speak very good English, or whatever the scenarios that people have had to deal with before. And I really think, like you said earlier, I think it solidifies that trust, at least the feel good of going into a project a little bit more. So, so even on our discovery calls, we're trying to both be on each other's discovery calls, whether it's about web design or marketing. It doesn't matter. We're just coming at them as a family business, and we're here to help. Call it a one-stop shop if you want, but the first phase is getting your website.
Right.
I think there was definitely a period of time where being a family-owned business, or just that family feel, was portrayed as a bad thing. At least I feel like that's kind of like how it was before COVID really had happened. And honestly, that little touch and being family oriented and adding in things that really show your team that you guys are family oriented, I think is what makes the world a difference. I know for us, it felt like for a while that being family oriented wasn't necessarily a good thing, or that businesses that said that they were usually are the ones that are not treating their employees kindly, or not, making them overwork, or kind of the things that we were talking about where we're trying to respect our kids working in the industry. But realistically, it all boils down to your employees and the way that you're actually treating them in that family aspect. I know that for us, we always are thinking about, what we should add into our benefits and what's going to make the most difference or impact for our team, and whether that's staggering our holidays so that they have an extra day around Christmas, or after the 4th of July, or things along those lines. Or one thing that I think has really stood out for us is we do a vacation bonus. So we're encouraging them to take more than 3 consecutive days off. When they do so, we'll give them a $500 bonus to actually enjoy that vacation. And things like that, I think, is what shows your team that you care, but also that means that your team is going to then put in the effort for your clients too at the end of the day. So
for sure,
100%. And working with everybody too, especially through COVID. I mean, our employees, many of them, have young families and children at home, and they're balancing, their kid or 2 kids and not having to do childcare. But we all understand, hey, we're not just family owned business. We understand family. We still need to get the work done. So but if you need to kind of figure out your way in between all of the challenges of trying to have your children at home, and also being able to work full time and do what we need you to do, we are all navigating that.
Yeah.
Well, and you guys have heard me say multiple times, like, you get on the phone with my kids, will get on the phone with me, and of course there's some drama or something, and I'm like, as your mom, I'm so sorry, I feel bad. As your boss, I need this shit done. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah, suck it up, buttercup.
That's how it is. Like, you know, I feel for you. I understand. Yes, you have things to do. Yes, you need to get things done, you know, at certain times. Like, okay, so when are you going to make up the hours, you know?
Mhm.
Like we have that flexibility, especially as a digital company. You know, yeah, some people can work overnight if you so choose. That's not my choice, but how are you going to communicate with me, and how are you going to make sure that this gets done if you're switching your hours up, you know?
Right.
For sure. Yep. I love your website, by the way. So
we need to rework it.
We're working on it. We're working on it.
Your our team page is what Elisabeth tries to get every single client to do.
Yeah.
You know,
Uh-oh,
everybody's picture looks the same. You're all in the branded shirts. You're, you know, it's all conducive.
All except for the one team member that's in Arizona. I don't know what it is about people in Arizona, but he's you cannot get the branded shirt on. It's like, dude.
Yeah, so you need to hyperimpose a logo on there, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's check out their website. Just great company. How are you guys doing? I mean, obviously you're salespeople. How are you? Do you have lead funnels? Are you doing anything as far as marketing, social media wise? Are you doing anything?
Yeah, we have some Facebook campaigns going on. You know, we, like I said, do a lot of outreach, you know, from our virtual assistants as well. And then, you know, I mean, I personally will use social media myself, you know, to be able to post and reach out. I'm pretty involved in also, you know, our community. And so a lot of people know me, you know. So that certainly helps. But, you know, it's never one thing, just like what we tell our clients. You can't have one channel. You know,
Exactly.
you've got to have multiple channels. And so, you know, we're playing with some things on our own SEO, of course, you know, always. So, you know, it's multi-channel.
Yeah, for sure. I tell everybody you always need to be marketing. Always.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter when, where, how. You know, people still give me crap about my back window on my Pathfinder, but that back window has brought me more friggin' money than any other marketing we've ever done.
Isn't it funny when you get clients that are like, we're doing so good now that we can turn everything off and we don't need you anymore. And it's just interesting when everything crashes after they do exit.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
Well, that's one of
us, you know, that had done that. And, you know, it's like, holy cow. First of all, you know, I now, all my leads have dried up. You know, with this other company that started, not to mention that they don't return my phone calls for 2 weeks and, you know, all that. And like, I just had that personalized service with you guys, not to mention, you know, the leads, you know, were consistent and I can count on them.
Well, that's what I was on a podcast a couple weeks ago, and you know, I think every agency right now is going through some weird client turnover stuff. I've never had so many people, and I'm talking 4 just so far in the past 6 months, but 4 people that just were doing great. Everything is great, getting tons of lead, but now they want to go a different direction. And it's like, what does that mean? You know? And so, you know, because we were doing everything with them, and of course I track everything, and they're going down and just going down. And, you know, and I just, again, you know, I don't understand, you know, what do I need to do differently to make sure that they don't need to do something differently? So you start questioning your, you know, am I doing something different in my strategy calls? First of all, usually all 4 of these would never get on a phone with me to have a strategy. They never knew what was going on. And that's always a red flag. But yeah, I just, you know, so it makes you sit back and go, okay, so if this is inevitably going to be you leaving in 6 months, and maybe we just cut it off at 2 and not even worry about it if you're not going to communicate with it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I send out an automated email to my clients, you know, saying I want to do a campaign review, and it's just amazing at how many don't take me up on it. And it's like, you're not going to take the time to actually, you know, do that. But there are things that I need. We are not like, you just drop it in our laps and everything, you know, we can do ourselves. We need you to actually be involved in getting your reviews. There's things that we need from you.
For sure.
And, you know, we're not getting, and I need to go over with you, but you just ignore us.
Yeah. And
That's the hardest part.
Exactly. I've got one client now that, this guy needs to talk to me because from what I can tell, he's getting a ton of spam. And we're recording the calls. I'm not going to sit there and take all the time to listen to this freaking recordings, but I just know this industry and I know this market. I know he's being freaking hammered, and at least a bunch of these numbers are spam, but he won't, because we are in our system, we can stop the spam before it even rings his phone, but he won't even have that little conversation with me. So yeah, I'm getting the spam calls. Well, great. I need to know that. It's something we need to know. All I can see is you're getting 250 calls a month. Well, if 80% of them are shit, I need to know that so we can do some adjusting here. We can throw them into, a chat system. We could do some pre-qualifying stuff. There's all kinds of stuff we need. But, if people don't communicate with you, we're like Google. We're not very good guessers, So, if you have people that are trying to help you, respect them enough to jump on a call for 30 minutes a month.
Exactly.
Well, I think a lot of that is managing expectations. And you're right, Monique, like we have our fair share of clients they just dump it in our lap and expect magic to happen, and not understanding and realizing that we're a team, we're working together with you. We're not an island over here doing our own thing. And so that's always a challenge, when you're dealing, of course, everyone's busy running their business. We're busy running our business. You know what I mean? But if you want great results, it's going to require strong communication.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's interesting how many, I was just going to say, it's interesting how many business owners walk into this not realizing that it's a partnership and how much that they actually do need to help us and assist us in anything that we're asking for, or will put us off for a couple of months and say, I know it's on us, and then expect that the results are going to be any different. So it is very frustrating. And I know for us, we kind of take that to heart, especially when they do eventually leave. And we're like, we were begging you to just hear us out and help us, do the best by you.
Just help you. Yeah. And it's like, we want to get the results faster with them, but they, delay getting us what we need, for months. And it's just like, you're delaying us being able to help you.
Well, when I was younger, I always had this idea, expectation, illusion that a business owner, like, you needed to know how to run a business. And so many people jump in and become an entrepreneur without a lot of the foundational things. And I know, like, I'm totally guilty too. Like, oh, I can do this, right? I'll figure it out as I go, my imperfect action. But at some point, you do have to take that accountability and learn, okay, these are the business steps that I need to know to become successful, or you're just floundering. And the amount of people, I think most of us have probably read E-Myth 100 years ago. You're doing all the things and you're drowning. So you need to get your foundation, you get your stability, and have your support network.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. And one of the things, like, I just turned down a client a couple weeks ago, and I don't typically take pay-per-click clients with just pay-per-click. It's usually a mixture with SEO and pay-per-click. But this one was kind of intriguing. He had a lot of spend. And the whole thing fell through because I told him that we're going to have 3 or 4 conversations in the first 2 or 3 weeks of getting this campaign built to make sure that it's built and flowing right. And he didn't want to take that time. He's like, and I'm like, dude, you're getting ready to spend $35,000 a month on something. You just want me to throw this shit against the wall and figure it out myself? Wouldn't it be faster, easier, and more efficient if we did this together? And we're not talking a lot of time. Hey, how'd the week go? What kind of calls you getting? That type of thing. And it was just amazing to me that this guy was getting ready to spend that much money and just lay it in somebody's lap, to get leads. And I'm like, well, I'm obviously not the right guy for you.
Well, you care too much about getting a good result. And there are so many people out there that obviously give SEO a bad name. And they're like, yeah, sure, I'll take your money. I'll take your management fee. I don't care if you get results. And you're not that way. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Like I said, it kind of shocked me, because I'd spent a couple weeks on this thing, and really dug in. I knew the industry, but more from a pay-per-click side. I even ran a couple $100, myself, just to kind of get some real-time data. And it literally just blew up in half an hour when I said, okay, well, let's talk next Wednesday after I get this thing built and go through it. And he's like, I don't want to talk. I just want you to get me leads. It's like, sorry, dude.
Yeah, I mean, Kayla does a weekly operations meeting, to talk about, being results driven. I mean, our team is coming to the table and saying, this is how many leads this client got last week compared to the week before.
Mhm.
So, I mean, we're really paying attention to that, but, not talking, and the client's not being involved is not a good thing. I mean, it's always a recipe for disaster. I mean, we have a client that, was just like, didn't even look at any of his landing pages or anything else. And then later on was like, you don't have my offer front and center. And it's like, okay. I mean, if that was super important to you, if this, lost leader was like, you wanted it bigger, even though it was on the page, if you wanted it bigger and all that stuff, why did you just say, yeah, go ahead and launch it? And you never bothered to look.
Yeah.
Well, I will say, I mean, even in our operations meeting, we're constantly even asking who are the clients that are not picking up the phone and being responsive, and who could we help, call from different phone numbers or send a text message. We always ask our clients, what's your preferred method of communication? Do you want us to text you, email, text and email? Do you want us to text and call and email? And even I have one individual that's dedicated to just calling and picking up the phone and trying to get the clients on the phone, and we still have a hard time. Most recently, we just created a survey form just for the clients to jot some things down. Nothing is actually required. It's all just something that we want you to answer as many questions as you can when you have the time. It's always going to be continuously available to you. And just send them a text message with a reminder to please fill that form out, because the no communication thing, it just doesn't work. And it's so hard to build a relationship and a platform off of that. And also bring them success when they're not willing to help. Even a 10-minute phone call would help.
And it's probably, as far as client work, it's probably my number one most frustrating thing.
Yeah.
I don't worry about anything else as far as, effectiveness of what we have planned or what we're doing or whatever. But, I get so tired of feeling like, well, what are you doing, Mr. Business Owner? I had one guy that called me up and said, he goes, hey, Terry, what's up? I said, I'm just working. He goes, what's up with you? He goes, I'm sitting here on the couch with nothing to do. I mean, you talk about firing me up. I mean, I was just like, dude, you're a business owner. What the frick? Get on Craigslist, do something, go call, door knock. I mean, it's not my job to provide 100% of your business. If it is, I want a portion of your business. That's the way it is. If you're relying on me for everything, I want 30%. So, and it's amazing how, luckily I haven't had that type of business owner lately, but I couldn't believe how fast I got fired up at that. I'm like, dude,
actually, there's a lot of internet marketing companies now that are doing rev share because of that. Because it's like, listen, you're going to rely on me for everything. I have to actually consult with you to do this, do that. And yeah, I can use multiple channels to be able to bring you in leads and everything else if you're not going to do it. But you only signed up for this one little part. Exactly.
And that one little part's only going to bring you this little part. You need to, and it's going to take months. It's not, it's not going to be, hey, Bob, next Tuesday, you should have some leads coming in from this organic project we're doing right now. So,
right.
But yeah, that's the biggest thing. So, well, what do you guys look forward to the rest of the year as far as 2024?
We have a lot of things actually in play. We're like Kayla had mentioned earlier, we are playing a lot with AI and doing some things as far as integrating different forms of marketing with our company. So not all digital. We're rolling out some things. Not only are two of our children actually own businesses. My sister owns a roofing company, so I'll use her as a guinea pig, to roll out some things. So a little bit of postcard marketing, that they can actually do to neighbors when they finish, and integrating into their CRM system, and some things like that are kind of fun things. And Kayla's got some software that she's been working on that have been boosting up our clients' SEO rankings and everything. That's super exciting. And so, yeah, I would say we've got a lot of things going on.
We do. Not only that, we've got a lot of internal things just going on. We're currently in the process of just creating our own sort of employee portal course area that'll be pretty big for us. It's been a long time coming and something that's been in the works for a while. We've got some really fun just client welcome packages that we've been doing just to kind of provide them some swag for joining with us and also try to keep them as involved as possible. It's got a custom QR code that'll lead them to a welcome package that'll go through all of their quick links and just resources. We've got tips and tricks from every single person on our team that the client can read through and help them help us. And a lot of just really fun things internally. We've got quite a few just internal parties and things like that coming up. We're celebrating our 15-year anniversary here in August. And we generally do a employee outing for that as well. And then we've got our field day that we're doing in July, which is just a fun games where we have all of our employees and their families and their spouses and things along those lines come. And we just do a full day of fun field day stuff. So
good old fashioned 3-legged races and, splash pads for the kids and face painting and all the things. So
that's cool. That's awesome. Yeah, it's I don't know. I think the backside of this year is going to be pretty exciting with everything that's happening as far as we have so much stuff also going on, and I mean I'm actually had to put AI on hold for a little while, but I'm excited about the whole AI thing. Especially when you can help automate processes. That's like my big thing, and you mentioned getting clients in your CRM. We've been pushing that a lot, is getting our clients into our high level system. We already put them in there anyways, more for, the follow-up funnels, but now we're trying to get them to use it as an actual tool to, sell and do all that stuff. So, I think it's going to be pretty cool for, all that stuff. And you're just like you said, Kayla, that's the reason I started SEO University, is because I already had all the SOPs. I might as well teach a class and put not other people in it, but also our own employees in it.
Yeah, so, absolutely. Makes your life easier.
and you get feedback from them. I never used to get feedback from people. Now I get feedback and I rethink and I redo a video. I'm doing the videos right now for the schema course, and as soon as it calls over, I'm climbing back in the closet again to go after more of them. And it's just, and I keep having to go back and not necessarily redo them, but oh shit, I forgot to add this part in and this step, and but it's, my whiteboard's freaking crazy. It's got lines all over it. But once you get it done, now you got a tool that you can put all your employees through. Here's our SOPs. Here's a printed version if you need to figure out, print wise, and then that's just, I think more and more people, because I know people that have some incredible SOPs, but they're in a Google Drive folder in PDFs.
Yeah. And it's so much easier to have it, manageable in one central area that you can go and update to, that you can give permissions to each role or each individual on your each department or whatever else. It's much easier. So that's awesome.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly right. So, well, good job. It's one of the best things we did. I think we did it during COVID. I took advantage of my little bit of downtime I did have. Elizabeth's side went nuts during COVID. My side was kind of sucking water there for a little while.
Yeah.
Well, that was one thing I was glad. I mean, I was so glad we did web design, because Elizabeth's side of the business really freaking tenfold within like 3 months of COVID. And
it taught a lot of business owners, especially in the med spa space, to think of things differently. So we had one med spa owner that she was really offended that she was non-essential. She was a former trauma surgeon. So that kind of hit her heart and her ego. And, she adapted and added on a functional medicine piece so that if anything ever happened again, she would be prepared and ready. But it really gave not just people in the digital marketing space a really open eye view of what could happen, what could change. I think the whole world sees that virtual is a viable option for employment, whereas they didn't take us seriously before COVID. Now everybody's, working from home or doing a hybrid schedule.
Yeah. I think we have a weight loss client that did weight loss clinic that actually did quite a bit of, virtual stuff and whatnot and really flourished. So,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
completely pivoted.
Yeah, and we had medical spas that stayed open. You just had to go in the alley. You couldn't go in the front door.
well, I mean, yeah, it's you had to be creative, I mean, and it definitely was very eye-opening, I think, for a lot of businesses out there. It didn't matter what it was. So
For sure. Yeah, and it was
how important their digital marketing actually is.
Yeah, 100%. I think what got me was the like back then, all of our kids were being paid as VAs. So we didn't have really a payroll system to go get some of the PPP and some of the help was going out there. We're like, oh shit, well that didn't work out. So, but it just, but it taught us a lot on how to get set up on the business, and it taught us a lot on. We did a lot of redoing a lot of stuff during COVID. I mean, I turned all my SEO processes into a la cartes. If you wanted a one thing, you paid one thing. If you just wanted maps, if you just wanted content, if you just wanted off page, whatever. I did that just because it was so hard to sell packages.
Right.
But I wanted to, not drop everything. Hey, let's go down from 2,500 and let's do the maps for 800. Let's continue on something.
Right. So do you still do that today?
On the white label side.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't on the regular side, but on the white label side.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're at about an hour. Nobody else has anything. You guys have anything for us? Anything at all? So
You guys
so awesome. It was so great having you because we've got our list of, not really couples, but families in this business that do this together. And so it's really neat to get everybody else's perspective on the family dynamic, especially in this business. This business is a little bit different. When we were flipping houses, it was like you flipped houses. There wasn't a whole bunch of different income streams you could have like you can in marketing, when you can have affiliates and you can have lead gens, you can have all this stuff. And and I think it's really intriguing to see families, doing this and doing it successful. And you guys are awesome. So
thank you. I love you guys too. I mean, you guys have done really, really well, and I mean, you get your hands on a lot of different things, schema courses, and all the things that you do, and all the different masterminds, and your SEO training, spring training that you do every year. That's a huge success. And
and Kayla gets to come this time.
Yes, I actually, I was thinking that we need to make sure that she comes this time because
you got the cutoff just right.
It's your birthday trip.
I
keep saying bring the family. There's nothing better than doing the Arizona things. So
yeah, she should. I mean, she's going to have the hotel room, so why not bring everybody?
Bring everybody and then stay
an extra day or two.
Wild ride.
Do the Grand Canyon touristy thing. I like Bisbee more than I like the Grand Canyon, but
I still haven't done Grand Canyon.
But you gotta do that. So.
2025.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Pack up the RV and drive down here. So.
Yeah.
Just leave 2 or 3 weeks ahead of time because I know Wes doesn't like to drive for
5 or 6 hours a day, and that's about the max. Yeah. So May 2nd through the 4th, right?
Yep. 2nd through the 4th. So
Yep. I think we're gonna have Kayla and probably one other person that'll come down besides me.
Awesome.
Nice.
That's gonna be great. So
you'll love it.
Yeah, you got to see some of this. I've only asked a few people to speak, and it's amazing how quickly they said yes, and I'm so excited because these are people don't necessarily get to see a lot of. So
that's exciting.
Pretty cool. So,
nice. That's awesome.
Well, thank you everybody for your time. I really super appreciate it. Again, like and everything else, all the stuff you're supposed to do. If you have questions after you see the replay, reach out to me or Elisabeth, and we're happy to answer questions. If we need to, send one to Monique or Kayla, we're happy to do that. But thank you, and we will see everybody again next Monday.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.